right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Strong storms in western Kansas now will inspire more thunderstorms in 12 to 18 hours across parts of Missouri and Illinois, where the storms could be strongest in our area.
Plus, tonight a Metro East school doing damage control after an employee uses a racial slur in front of students. And right now, a second nationwide search is on for a new police chief in St. Louis.
I want to see someone who has a heart for the people.
Meet the man that will take over the PD until a new leader is found.
A big shakeup tonight at the top of the St. Louis Metropolitan Police Department. Good evening, I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. Chief John Hayden announced today he'll retire in 31 days, 4 months after his original retirement date.
This has been an honor of a lifetime to serve as chief of police for the city. I love this city. I'll always be here.
Michael Sack has been named interim chief. The 28-year veteran of the department currently serves as commander of community policing. He was one of 2 finalists in the first national search for a new chief. But Mayor Tashara Jones wanted a more diverse pool of candidates to choose from. It's why Hayden has stayed on the job.
Tonight, a second national search is underway. Our Robert Townsend is live downtown with the qualifications the mayor and the community are seeking in the new chief.
Mike and Ann, today we went to a north side neighborhood to ask some folks to weigh in on the search for St. Louis's next police chief. Let me tell you, people were definitely clear on what they want. A second nationwide search for the next police chief of St. Louis is now underway, and Northside resident Elisheba Dotson knows who she'd like to see in that position.
To find somebody within the community who kind of knows the layout of the people here.
Dotson is convinced the top cop should come from within the police department.
I want to see someone who has a heart for the people, who has a heart for the community, and who has a heart to make sure that the people in those communities are safe.
However, her fiance, Nino Ross,
fresh face, a fresh name, you know, someone who is looking to make a mark,
thinks that someone does not have to work at the police department or be familiar with the city.
Someone young and out of town wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. I think they would offer some new ideas, some new perspectives.
What is clear, whomever replaces retiring police chief John Hayden will have their hands full when it comes to tackling crime. Nearly 60 children have been shot so far this year in St. Louis. 6 died. Car break-ins also continue to be a big problem, especially downtown.
Our focus will continue to be, as it has been, on violent crime.
28-year St. Louis police veteran and interim police chief Lieutenant Colonel Michael Sack says he's ready to get the bad guys off the streets. What's his plan?
But identifying particular bad actors, developing cases, and presenting those cases to the Circuit Attorney's Office and the U.S. Attorney's Office for prosecution.
The mayor says Sack could eventually be tapped as the new chief.
We want to make sure that we keep our promise to the community to be transparent and to present all of the candidates for various town halls and neighborhood meetings.
A consulting firm will conduct the search for the next police chief. Meantime, Hayden's last day is on June 18th. Live downtown, Robert Townsend, 5 your side.
Developing tonight out of Pagedale, the major case squad is searching for whoever shot 2 people in broad daylight this afternoon. One of them left to die on a sidewalk. The other now recovering in the hospital. Brent Solomon is live after speaking with the police chief. Brent.
Good evening to you. I'm told that the shooter targeted the victims, shooting each of them multiple times. As we speak right now, you can see a line of police cars behind me. That's because the major case squad is working the case right now. This as onlookers watched in disbelief a double shooting happened so close to them. Authorities cleaning a bloody and deadly scene on Page and Hanley Wednesday evening.
I was sitting outside and I heard like 12 gunshots.
This man lives down the road. He asked we not show his face.
And then I'm like, man, that was close. It was loud.
It was around 3 o'clock. That's when he followed the police cars and saw a man lying on the sidewalk and a woman lying in the road. He had been shot in the head several times. The woman shot in the leg multiple times. She survived and was taken to the hospital. The man died on scene.
They had the dogs out and stuff when I was up there.
Pagedale police called on the St. Louis County Air Patrol and the Major K Squad to help them investigate. I'm told authorities found some clothing near the scene that might link them to the suspect.
It's out of control.
Chief Eddie Simmons is growing tired of hearing about shootings all over our area.
It seems like it's an everyday occurrence with this gun violence. No one wants to de-escalate and just talk it out.
This as a crowd of people watched authorities gather clues, many of them surprised. Crime rocked the community they love.
A lot of retired people, a lot of kids, a lot of families. So we're peaceful.
Do you hear crime?
Nothing. Everything on my ring is not from Pagedale. Usually on your ring is something in your neighborhood, but it's never Pagedale.
All right, let's go ahead and take you back alive now. Authorities say preliminary clues show the woman to be in her 30s and the man to be in his early 20s. They're not identifying the victims until their families are notified. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers tonight. That number on your screen, 1-866-371-TIPS. Live in Pagedale, Brent Solomon, 5 on your side.
Tonight, Schnucks workers voted on a new contract, and those results came into our newsroom just 45 minutes ago. They approved the new 3-year deal, 56% to 44%. Members of the United Food and Commercial Workers Local 655 gathered at the St. Charles Family Arena tonight. The new contract includes a 10% raise for some, improved working conditions, and gender expression protections. Tonight, parents at Belleville East High School are demanding accountability.
It comes after a school employee used a racial slur in front of students earlier this month. Our Pepper Baker joins us now with how the district is addressing these concerns. Pepper.
Mike, and students reported to school administration that the N-word was used in a conversation between a staff member and a group of students. Belleville Township High School District 201 sent us a statement saying they took immediate action. I spoke to a parent to piece together what was said and how it was handled.
I just hope she get the message, don't use the N-word.
Ashlyn Joshua wants to get her point across after her 9th grade son came home from Belleville East High School saying a staff member used a racial slur.
So it was just like the lady in the cafeteria. She's a white lady, and she told them that she was the king in the cafeteria with the N-word in it.
The Belleville Township High School District 201 sent a robocall to parents saying immediate steps were taken to address the matter.
She shouldn't have returned back to school the next day. They should have had her suspended as well until further investigation.
During the investigation, students gathered in the center of the school to protest. Joshua said her son was given an in-school suspension for missing class, and she decided to keep him home instead.
My son said that they protest because, first of all, she was a Caucasian and she wasn't supposed to be using the N-word or whatnot, and they felt like it was wrong no matter what.
In a follow-up email this week, District 201 clarified that the employee was issued a no-contact directive during the investigation period. As it followed, the employee was told they'd be recommended for termination, and the employee resigned immediately.
I was proud of my son, first of all, for standing up for who you are and protesting against it. And like I told him, that make me feel like Dr. Martin Luther King marched for nothing. You know what I'm saying? All of this stuff, it seems like it's coming back, and it should be coming back.
Joshua said she and her son's father did not receive the robocall, only the letter for their son's in-school suspension. District 201 also wrote in their statement that they're committed to addressing the conduct of the employee and providing support for the harm caused to the students and the faculty.
After more than 2 years of sitting idle, the Del Mar Loop trolley will run once again. Tonight, the Bi-State Development is confirming that the trolleys will begin operations in August 4th to be exact. The schedule is still being finalized, but we don't know if it'll be 7 days a week. The Federal Transit Authority had threatened the city would have to repay $52 million in grants if the trolley wasn't running again by summer.
Tonight, the Mid-America Transplant Foundation cut the ribbon on its new family house in Dogtown. The 34,000 square foot building includes 21 furnished apartments for out-of-town patients waiting for or recovering from organ transplants. They're available for just $15 to $25 per day. Eligible families can also get a discounted rate. Family House is located near St. Louis's 4 major transplant medical centers.
We realize that it's a financial and emotional burden to try to uproot your family and move here while you're waiting for a transplant. And so we believe this is a part of their journey we can help remove some of the barrier for. So we're really excited to open these 21 apartments.
The $12 million project took more than 2 years to complete. They'll start accepting patients and families in June.
Chasing the Cup, sponsored by Car Shield.
The Blues are still in the Mile High City tonight, looking to rebound after last night's tough overtime loss to the Avalanche.
5 on your side's Hannah Yates is in Denver with the team. She has more on the team's game plan for Game 2 tomorrow night.
If you missed the game last night but looked at the final score, you say, okay, the Blues lost 3-2 in overtime, but they did force the game into overtime. And it was a much lower scoring game than what we saw in the first series. But if you took a look at the stat sheet, you'd see a much different story. And now the Blues have a lot of key adjustments that they have to make ahead of Game 2. St. Louis was ultimately outshot 54-25, and they didn't get a single shot on net in overtime. They also didn't get a single shot from 4 of their top scoring forwards this season. But even their usual strengths were diminished. The Blues won 36% of their faceoffs, which is the second worst performance this year. One aspect they can't change is Colorado's speed, but Craig Berube says the Blues can counteract that speed with the style that they've played all season.
It starts with the forecheck for 100%. Our forecheck was not very good last night. We didn't get numbers in there. We didn't stall pucks. And, again, when you don't do that, their D are up the ice, and they're up the ice quickly.
The Blues were also out hit 47-39 in that first game, and Craig Berube says that has to change too. He says they don't need to go out and waste energy throwing some of those big hits like what you saw against Minnesota, which ultimately led to much more penalties. But he says they do have to play much harder on the puck and ultimately generate more offense by doing so. Reporting from Denver, Hannah Yates, 5 on your side.
For a full schedule of the second round of the Stanley Cup playoffs, just text the word BLUES to your number on the screen, 314-425-5355.
A health alert tonight in the U.S. over a rare illness. What is monkeypox? What you should look out for, and should you be concerned? Summer vacation sticker shock.
The fees for my fly were more expensive than the airfare itself.
How to avoid hidden fees without changing your travel plan.
These storms in western Kansas, they're really kicking things up tonight, and that energy's headed our way for tomorrow. I'll show you who will be most impacted by the thunderstorm potential.
Tonight, the CDC is investigating a rare case of monkeypox in the United States. The single case has been reported in Massachusetts. The man recently traveled to Canada. There have been a recent cluster of cases reported in Spain, Portugal, and the United Kingdom. The potentially serious illness starts with flu-like symptoms and progresses to a rash and lesions on the face and body. Health officials say, though, human-to-human transmission is rare.
Close contact via respiratory droplets and sort of prolonged face-to-face contact, as well as direct contact through lesions or in direct contact through contaminated bedding or sort of clothing that has been contaminated with the lesions.
Health officials say common household disinfectants can kill the virus.
Now to the latest on the baby formula crisis. President Biden tonight is invoking the Defense Production Act to help boost the supplies. Officials can now direct suppliers of formula ingredients to prioritize delivery to manufacturers. The president is also implementing Operation Fly Formula tonight. It allows Defense Department planes to import formula from other countries. Congress is also taking action. Tomorrow, a House committee will hear from the head of the FDA at a hearing on the baby formula shortage. Gas prices continue to climb, and for the first time, the average price has surpassed $4 per gallon in every state. According to AAA, the average price in Missouri is $4.10. Illinois is floating with $5 per gallon at $4.91. The nationwide average is at $4.56. That's $1.50 more than last year. It almost seems like gas prices are setting new records on a daily basis, and analysts think they could stay high for the rest of the year. They say this is just a perfect storm. Oil prices are up, so is consumption, but inventory is down. Several viewers asked us how gas prices can jump 20 to 30 cents overnight, but they only drop a few cents at a time. So we took that question to the experts.
There's often a lag time that we say. Stations don't raise the price until 3 to 4 days after. That means they lose money for 3 to 4 days. That's also why prices don't come down as quick. But especially in this volatile atmosphere, stations don't want to lower their price 10 cents today and then watch the price go up 20 cents tomorrow.
To find the lowest gas prices in our area, text the word gas to 314-425-5355.
The summer vacation season is almost here, so you might be searching for a great deal on airfare. Additional airline fees for baggage or seat selection can add big bucks to the ticket price. Tonight, Consumer Reports shares some simple ways to avoid them.
Consumer Reports editor Pga Ho thought she was getting a good deal on a flight to Florida until she looked a little closer.
It was a carry-on bag fee that I was most surprised by. The fees for my flight were more expensive than the airfare itself.
Pga's experience is not uncommon, according to CR's aviation advisor, Bill McGee.
These days, many airlines make more money off of fees than they do over base airfares.
So what can you do to save? Start by checking out the airline's website to find exactly what's included in the price for the type of ticket you're considering. Then decide what extras you're willing to pay for.
Ask yourself, what could they possibly be charging me? Baggage is the most obvious, even carry-on baggage, a seat assignment, early boarding.
And while many airlines have loosened or even eliminated change or cancellation fees, Southwest, for example, allows for 2 free checked bags, a rarity. If you're a frequent flyer on the same airline, consider that airline's credit card, which could offer valuable perks such as free checked bags, priority seat selection and boarding, and other valuable treats. Pga plans to do some more traveling this summer. She knows flights will likely be very crowded and cost more than last year. And Bill McGee has this final piece of advice for snagging a decent fare.
If you see a fare right now and you think you're going to be traveling this summer, my advice is to book it.
If you're trying to avoid a checked bag fee by only packing a carry-on, Consumer Reports says to remember there are very strict rules on the sizes of carry-ons that you might have.
Let's get to Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell. Calm tonight, turbulent tomorrow, Scotty.
Yeah, it sure looks like tomorrow, midday into the afternoon hours, we'll be focused on what's coming across Kansas right now. And out ahead of that, we've actually seen in the last 3 hours some intense thunderstorms down around Branson, producing upwards of quarter size, maybe a little larger hail just south and southwest of Branson. But this is the complex of storms we're a bit concerned about as we head into tomorrow. It developed across Colorado. It's been moving now across western Kansas. This actually has kicked up quite a bit of dust in addition to the severe weather, but it's also creating some of its own energy, and that is going to be sliding our way as we head into tomorrow. And that's the thunderstorm-induced energy that we may actually see kick off a few thunderstorms around here come tomorrow afternoon. Right now over St. Louis, all is quiet, 73 in Forest Park. Lambert's coming in right now with 74. Dew points are a little higher. You may have noticed the humidity up a little more today. Right now, that dew point's at 63, gives us a relative humidity of 68%. We managed to get to 83 today after that rain ended this morning and pushed away from the area. Pretty quiet through the overnight now and through tomorrow morning. You won't have the big problems tomorrow morning, but midday into the afternoon, there is a severe weather risk, especially south and southeast of St. Louis. That's going to get updated overnight tonight into tomorrow. Remember, we're talking about that energy out in Kansas. Here it is, being induced by that complex of thunderstorms, and it slides right across the southern portions of Missouri and Illinois through tomorrow afternoon, early tomorrow evening. Futurecast obviously is keeping us quiet overnight. There may even be some patchy fog early tomorrow because we're relatively moist. We had that rain earlier today. But then during the day, we'll start to see clouds increasing from the west ahead of what's left of that complex of storms. The potential that that energy will interact with the warmth and the humid conditions that are over our area to create a few stronger storms. Odds are that's going to be farther to the south of St. Louis. Perhaps it's down towards Farmington. Perhaps it's farther south of Fredericktown and heading towards Cape Girardeau and then along the Ohio River in far southern Illinois. But the question is right now, how far and how strong and widespread will those storms be? Right now, we're thinking the worst of it will be to our south. Now let's get into the weekend, talk about that. We were thinking this front was going to be through here by Saturday and we'd be cool and damp much of the day. Front slowing up. That means we're going to be warmer ahead of it in the 80s. Showers and thunderstorms could be strong on Saturday too, but they may hold off until midday into the afternoon. There's a chance our far northern counties on Saturday could be around 60 for the high on the other side of the front, and it could be close to 90 down by Cape Girardeau. That's a big range across the region. That also sets the stage for potentially more widespread severe weather. So we'll be tracking that. Should be moving out by Sunday, but it will be cool on Sunday. And the good news is Saturday morning, if you've got a ball game or maybe you want to head to the farmer's market, I think we'll be able to get that taken care of.
All right, that sounds good. Thanks, Scott. Frank is here with sports.
Mike, a sportscast with Max Scherzer, Albert Pujols, Steph Curry, Tiger Woods, and Kenny Wallace. Yes, you should watch. Do you ever wonder what it would have been like if the Cardinals would have just signed Max Scherzer? They had two different chances to bring the greatest pitcher of his generation to his hometown. Expensive? Sure. More winning? For sure. There he is with his 3 Cy Youngs, his 3,000 strikeouts, and his third strike on Brendan Donovan to open the game. Albert Pujols got not one but 2 opportunities to be a Cardinal, and he drives in 2 with this single to right to tie the game at 2. Albert had 2 hits tonight, and he shows the speed with a stolen base right here. The Mets went to town in the 6th. Dominic Smith with an RBI base hit. They went up 6-2. Max actually had to leave the game in the 6th with an ab strain. He did pick up victory number 195. Mets win 11-4. Got to finish with this classic 3-shot. Jose Oquendo coaching third base this weekend. Those are Cardinal legends, folks.
Chasing the Cubs, sponsored by Car Shield.
Well, I recommend a Red Bull or a nap tomorrow. The Blues and Avalanche will begin Game 2 likely close to 9 o'clock. Must win, maybe not. But if you lose, I'm not sure there's any team capable of beating Colorado in 4 of the next 5 games. I still can't get over that overtime stat from Game 1. The Avalanche had 13 shots and the Blues had 0. You knew it was coming, you just didn't know when. But the note have a coach singing a positive tune.
I really truly believe in this team, and you know, we got a lot of we went through a lot this year. We've been a real good team. We went through a lot of tough times this year with injuries and COVID, and we battled through it, and we're very competitive throughout the season. We're very competitive in the first round, and we'll be competitive tomorrow night.
Western Conference Final, Warriors and Mavericks, and Golden State will win because they have Steph Curry and Dallas doesn't. Golden State wins Game 1, 112-87. The Pga Championship will begin tomorrow morning in Tulsa, and because he's playing, all eyes will be on Tiger Woods. A victory would make it one of sports' greatest comebacks.
There's going to be limitations. I mean, there's a lot of hardware in there, and there's going to be limitations to what I'm going to be able to do. And but I'm going to get stronger. I don't know how much that is or how much range of motion I'll ever get back, but sure as a hell of a lot better than it was 12 months ago.
Speaking of big-time sporting events, June 5th at Worldwide Technology Raceway, it's the Enjoy Illinois 300, the first ever Cup race event in our town. And when you think of auto racing in St. Louis, you think about the Wallace family, Rusty, Mike, and Kenny. Kenny, who will be with us Sunday at 10:30 for Sports Plus, is still racing in dirt tracks. He had over 900 NASCAR starts, and he can't wait for June 5th.
It is like getting a football team, for the city of St. Louis again. This is by far the NASCAR Cup Series coming to St. Louis is by far the biggest thing in automotive history that's ever happened to the city or the surrounding areas of St. Louis. And here's why. Because it is the NFL. It is Major League Baseball. It is the highest form of motorsports. As they said when I was a kid growing up, you're going to see all your stars in cars.
He'll be with us Sunday, and he's almost 60. He's a grandfather, and yet he still races on dirt tracks because he simply loves his craft and won't give it up.
And he said that he wanted his grandchildren to see him race. They want to make sure Grandpa still races.
Yep.
And it's not just that one race the weekend of June 5th, is it?
The trucks will be here, and then the day before, a salute to Richard Petty, the king. He is going to take a lap around the track. The place is going to go crazy. Over 50,000 that weekend.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you, Frank. Paying more at the store. Businesses say inflation isn't to blame. Who they're taking a swipe at.
We're all paying more at the store, but businesses are blaming credit card giants Visa and MasterCard for raising so-called swipe fees. It's the fee merchants are charged for each transaction. Retailers say they're forced to pass that cost on to consumers or stop accepting certain credit cards.
The greatest show on earth is making a comeback. Today, Ringling Brothers and Barnum & Bailey announced the return of its three-ring circus 5 years after shutting down. There won't be any animal acts. A 50-city North American tour will begin in September 2023. No word if the circus will come to St. Louis.
Police have arrested the person they believe made Johnny Cash spring a leak. A bullet went through the silhouette of the music legend on the water tower of his hometown in Kingsland, Arkansas. Many got a laugh over the unfortunate position of the leak, but the city was losing 30,000 gallons of water per day. Work is now underway to patch the hole.
You wonder, was that a single shot or did they have to try quite a few times?
Almost the boy named Sue right there. There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show's next.
He's got Tim.